Hi, I'm Mark with Tech Central U. Today we're going to talk about the tools that a telecom technician needs to have to perform his work. Remember, it's going to be simple. We're going to keep it simple. This is going to be the tools that you need based upon performing a job at a customer's job, whether it's a residence or a business, on the basic level. Cable testing, device testing, troubleshooting, repair, that type of thing. Here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with many of the tools that you're already familiar with, that most people have in their toolkit in their garage. Screwdrivers, pliers, that type of thing. So we'll go down that. First, I always carry a combo small screwdriver. You run into a lot of equipment that you need to get into that has a small screw of one sort or another. The next is a combo screwdriver with Phillips and with slotted, two sizes, both ends. That's really important. I carry another old slotted screwdriver for prying open things, whatever. It comes in really handy. These are important. These are called side cuts. They're diagonal side cuts. You want to make sure when you get these types of tools to always get insulated tools. This is simple long nose pliers. Again, same thing, insulated. Now this is just a simple channel lock where you can adjust this. There are often times that you've got a piece of equipment that has a nut or something like that that needs to be loosened or tightened, and these come in handy. You don't need to carry a socket set with all of your socket sizes with you. Again, I've done this for many, many years, and the tools that you're going to see are the tools that I've carried with me for years and made a great living. Now, simple Sharpie. This is a fine point Sharpie. This is a medium fine point Sharpie. I would just get a box of each of these. Quite often you need this to write on cabling or make a note on a piece of equipment, on a piece of tape or something like that to identify. That's what that's for. Your sharp fine point Sharpie is mostly for writing on 66 blocks and making notations, things like that. But you will find both of those are handy. Next thing you need is a simple razor knife. Cutting open boxes, packages, all kinds of things for a razor knife. Another simple tool, I carry with me a voltage checker for 110, 120. It tells you if you're grounded correctly. Quite often you come to a job site and you need to make sure that a piece of equipment works, and the first thing you need to do is make sure there's power to the outlet. So you want to carry one of these with you. Next thing is a simple tape measure. You may want to install a data rack or a phone system, things like that up on backboards. You need to have a tape measure with you. That comes in handy for quite a few uses. The next thing that's pretty normal is a hacksaw, just a simple small hacksaw. We don't use these much, sometimes to cut a piece of conduit, small things. Again, these tools will all fit inside a small vehicle, inside just a few different toolboxes. So that's one of the beauties of this business is you can go in a small vehicle, you can save a lot of money on gas, you don't have to have all kinds of tools like a builder needs or even an electrician. With low voltage, this is a beautiful way to make a living. I always carry a torpedo level with me. Magnetic is great for when you're installing a data rack, something like that. You get to set that up on there and make it work. Another simple tool is, I call this a jab saw. It's a drywall saw. Quite often you need to cut a hole in drywall. You may be dropping cable down a wall and you need to cut a hole in that drywall. Another simple thing that I keep with me is a set of hearing protection. Because you may be on a job site, you don't think you need this, but you should use hearing protection. If there's loud noise, concrete sawing, heavy drilling, things like that, use hearing protection. You will be glad that you did later on in life, that's for sure. All right, for a few of the things that are more unique to our profession and some that are mixed. Here we go with a cable stripper. This is just a simple cable stripper for the jacket outside of the cable. You're almost always using Cat 5, Cat 6 cable. That's what you use primarily in this business. We'll talk about fiber later on. This is a wire pick. This wire pick is non-conductive, and there may be a 66 block or a 110 block. 110 block you need to get into with this, maybe a patch panel, back of a patch panel, there might be a little wire stuck in and you need to get that. More than one time this has saved me, and I've been able to fix problems because a technician has punched one wire on top of another wire that he or she doesn't see. So a wire pick, that's another thing. This is a unique item. This is a little adapter that plugs onto a 66 block terminals, and you can plug a line cord, connect that to your butt set, and you can run down a 66 block and ID telephone numbers if you need to. I carry with me a Cat 5, Cat 6 coupler. Sometimes with a test you might need to string out a long Cat 5 cable or something like that to test a device that's away in another location 20, 30, 50 feet away, and this can come in handy, a couple of these. I also carry scissors. These are low voltage technician scissors. They'll cut great with multiple cable. If you've got a 25 pair cable, this is great to use for that. And again, we will show you on a list all of these tools in one place. You'll be able to go to one place, purchase these tools. They'll be not the most expensive tools in the world, but they're not going to be the cheapest either, because one of the keys to your success is going to be taking care of your tools and having good tools that are made of good quality materials. So don't go cheap on your tools. That's how you're going to make a living. The next thing is, this is just a wired noodle. People call them glow rods. They come in different lengths. You need these to go down walls, to go through ceilings, to get into small areas where you can't get in with your hand, and then you can extend this and it will get your wire where you need to be. Again, all of these tools, we're going to show you the application, how to use them and where to use them down the road. Here's a fish tape. Again, we'll show you the right fish tape to buy. This happens to be steel. We want you to get a non-conductive. This happens to be around the shop. You want a 100-foot non-conductive fish tape. Now, the tool bags. This is cool. If you're going to run cable, you don't need a big tool bag like this tool bag. This is a tool bag that I take in for service and repair work. But if you know that you're just running cable on a job for hours, maybe all day, maybe a couple days, all you need is this to carry on your waist and just strap around you, because you need maybe side cuts, Sharpie, black tape, zip ties, things like that. You don't need to be toting around a big old bag with you. And I know a lot of technicians have their tools in a carry bag, and you don't want to have to be going back to your carry bag or dragging that along with you as you're running cable throughout the day. So this is great for running cable. And this bag, again, is what I take in. All of these tools, for the most part, that I'm showing you fit in this bag. And when I go in for a service call, I carry this bag with me. My butt set clips onto this bag. I can take my cable tester with me, and I'm ready to go, at least initially, until I find out more about what maybe the problem is, and maybe you need to come out and get more tools. We always need a cordless drill, a good cordless drill with a couple batteries. Some people carry a couple cordless drills, one impact, one non-impact, but you need a good cordless drill. You need good drill bits, Phillips, slotted. What I do is I carry a simple little kit. Again, I told you this was going to be simple. I carry a simple little kit that has most of the common bits. It even has some concrete and masonry bits, and then you've got paddle bits and steel bits. You've got some sockets that are most common. You've even got a small hole saw selection, and then quite a selection of steel bits. So just something like that. Again, I've made a living in this business for years, and again, I'm showing you pretty much the tools that I've done this with for years. And we do a good job and we don't shortcut anything. Now, the next tool is awesome. I call this a banjo. This is actually a mod adapter and it's used in many situations, mainly for troubleshooting cables. And it's got 8 positions, 1 through 8, and you're able to clip different devices, toner, butt set on to this and use it for many things with troubleshooting. And I definitely can't stress enough, you need an 8-position mod adapter, not a 4, not a 6. Now, the next cool thing is a toner. It's actually a tone generator. And what goes with that is a wand or a probe, but it's an amplifier. So this toner, what you end up doing is clipping this on wires. Again, we'll show you how to use this. There are many different ways and applications. Clip this on wires, and if wires aren't labeled, which is pretty typical, you're going to have to clip this on at one end and go to another end and start searching and searching, and then at some point you're going to find the wire, be able to identify it. This also has a continuity feature, which will, so that's another thing, and we'll show you how to use that. It's very critical because one of the keys to this business is learning and getting good at how wiring works and how continuity works through wiring. It's really the key to this business. The next thing is a punch tool. This is definitely unique to a telecom tech. This punch tool has a 66 blade, one end cuts, one end doesn't cut. That's what you want. And you also want a 110 blade, one end cuts and one end doesn't cut. And again, this is critical. And I'll tell you what, do not go cheap on this. This is a fluke. There are many good manufacturers. Don't go cheap on this because this is one of the keys to your business. When you terminate jacks, patch panels, things like that, one of the most critical points is the process of termination. So don't cheap it on this. Again, use our list and buy your tools through our list and you'll be happy. Now, this is a crimper. It will crimp RJ45, which we use for Cat5 and Cat6 cabling, data cabling, Ethernet. It'll crimp RJ11, RJ14. This again, you don't want to cheap on this. None of these tools do you want to cheap on. Some of them, you know, you've got screwdrivers, things like that, that don't cost much. But make sure you get good tools when you get into this type of thing. Punch down tool, crimper, toner, that type of thing. You don't want to be on a job site and your tone generator not working properly. It could blow the whole thing. Label maker. We do not write with a Sharpie on our jacks, face plates, things like that. We use a professional label with the number of the jack properly identified so that on one end you can see what the identification is, and on the other it's the same identification. And that way, once you've done a job, it's done properly, and you want a good label maker for that. Now, our next thing is a very cool tool. This is a cable tester. This one happens to be probably a $300, $400 tool. We will not set you up with that first. The first cable tester that you need is a continuity tester. It just tests the continuity and makes sure your cable is straight through pins 1 through 8. That's the first step in certifying that a cable is proper. Okay, that tool right there, cable tester. Another tool that you want, and again, this one doesn't have to be a huge investment, a voltmeter. It's a continuity checker. You might need to check on hook, off hook voltage. You might need to check ring voltage. Mostly with all of this internet traffic and using the internet to get dial tone by making the internet give you analog dial tone and then ringing with faxes and things like that. Sometimes there are problems and you need to check ring voltage on a line, even on an analog line. So you want to be able to have a good voltmeter with you also. And these, again, $10, $15, $25. Nothing big about that. That wraps up our tools for this session. And remember, you don't need a big vehicle. You can save money on gas. You can make great money in this business with some simple tools. Keep a good attitude and also take good care of your tools, and then we'll show you the rest of this down the road. Thanks for tuning in. This is Mark with Tech Central U.